Hello and welcome to This Is iPad.
How does it even work?
Well, it uses a series of magnets.
Actually, that's true.
That's
Watch
true.
this. I'm gonna put on the magnet.
Yeah.
Watch. Here we go.
Wow.
I actually did not get it
You
on right.
could not have
Uh,
Ooh, that was satisfying. The new iPad is out. We got it in our hands. And I have some thoughts on it that might be spicy, but like not like a ghost pepper spicy, but
Okay.
more of like
Can I start
lemon
with my
pepper
thought?
wet
Can I-
spicy.
Can I just start out by pointing out the fact? So this morning, I went to the Apple store like a good old iSheep. I rolled up at 10:01. As soon as they open, I walk in, like, can you give me one of your finest iPads, please? And they ask which one. I'm like, oh, actually, I want the cheapest version because I was actually the first person to buy an iPad at the store. There was no line. There's like 2 people in line, but they just wanted to fix their iPhones. This is the 11-inch iPad Pro M4.
The correct size.
This is the base Wi-Fi model. I got it in silver with the black Magic Keyboard and the Magic Pencil. It's actually called the Apple Pencil Pro, but I'm gonna call it the Magic Pencil because that sounds better. We're doing this live. Matt, you've not touched this yet, right?
Well, I'm touching it now.
Okay. So Matt is trying the iPad for the first time. I've had like an hour or 2 to play with it. The bottom line is this. The iPad Pro is a marvel of engineering. It is thinner, it is more powerful, it's got a tandem OLED display, the keyboard's improved, the pencil's improved. By every objective metric, when you look at a product that has seen an upgrade, this iPad is better. The only downside to it really is the fact they got rid of the ultra-wide camera, which who cares, and the small basically inconsequential little fact that it is now several $100s more expensive. $200. A lot of money. Matt, can we do the video? Are you just gonna draw?
I was making my reaction to that's a face.
Money. Keep in mind that I purchased the base cheapest iPad Pro, which was $999, plus $300 for the keyboard, another $130 for the pencil. I was over $1,400. We talked about this before, but if you go to max out an iPad, which to be fair, not everyone's gonna max it out. But if you want the 1 or 2 terabytes of storage, you wanna get the anti-glare display, you wanna get the 16 gigs of RAM, which is a secret option when you go up to the higher end models, you can spend like $3,000 or something just absolutely absurd on it.
No.
Pause.
No.
I'm looking at your typing test. It has a wonderful wrist feel. So good in the hand. That is what you typed, my dude.
This video is brought to you by Pulseway. In the fast-paced world of IT, every second counts. Whether you do IT administration, business, or systems management, Pulseway has what you need.
Pulseway is your all-in-one solution to streamline your IT workflow and hit that peak efficiency, baby.
Yeah, love efficiency. Whether you're in a tiny startup or a huge company, Pulseway lets you monitor and manage your entire IT infrastructure from the convenience of your phone, your tablet, your desktop, even your laptop.
You can get instant alerts, you can remotely access systems, and you can deploy seamless patches using Pulseway's intuitive interface. If Matt loves anything, it's deploying seamless patches.
Deployed. Never deal with manual monitoring and troubleshooting ever again, which is great. Pulseway lets you address issues proactively before they escalate, so less tickets.
Step into the future of IT management. Try Pulseway today at the link in the description. And of course, a huge thank you to Pulseway for sponsoring this episode of This Is. This is your first impression with the iPad, so like...
I'm borderline gonna order one right now.
Oh, snap. That fast?
That fast. I've said it before, I'm an iPad boy. I like the iPad. I daily drove it for a while, but based on what we do here, Google got in the way of how we do some of the things on YouTube, which then it's like, I gotta use a laptop, but that keyboard feels so good. It feels so much better than the already good Magic Keyboard.
Here, we're gonna use this as a second camera angle. So just, why don't you just... So we're gonna have an extra angle.
God, that looks sexy.
Do you notice how the webcam's in the middle now? So you don't have to like look like off to the side of the camera like a weirdo.
How do you guys watch me?
With a lot of pain, Matt.
Here, we're just being like, roar.
No! Okay, no, I'm sorry.
Roar.
Cut recording. Sorry, cut. There's a lot to talk about with this iPad. I actually want to try to break it down step by step. Now, this is clearly not a review. I'm sure Marquez has already made his review at this point.
And I'm sure Jerry has already bent it in half.
He's probably bent it in half by the time you watch this video. The hardware is phenomenal. Like, yes, even considering that this is like $1,000 or $1,400 as configured, it feels amazing. The screen looks great. Technically, it's the same spec as the MacBook, but because it's OLED, the contrast and the color looks terrific. You just feel how thin it is? It's a little different. Actually, it's not that bad.
Here's the thing. I feel the difference.
Yeah.
But I think I only feel the difference because I've never actually had this without a case on it. The whole system is way lighter.
They've improved pretty much everything. A little bit thinner, a little bit lighter, screens are better. The biggest downside, like we always talk about, is iPadOS. Matt, I think this is quickly turning into a therapy session for you. If you're really seriously considering this, right, I have a couple of thoughts to maybe talk you down. Okay, there's so much that this does really well, except for being a computer. iPadOS still feels like it is got the training wheels fully attached. It just feels, and this is not exactly a revolutionary concept because I think every review has really kind of gone over the same sort of thing, that iPadOS, and specifically this iPad, has been launched at a really weird time because we're only, what, a few weeks out, it's a couple weeks out really at this point from WWDC. Theoretically, we will see a substantial update, but who knows? You can't buy this thing assuming that, oh, there's going to be an amazing iPad update.
No.
It's going to make it better. Because guess what? We've been saying that for like 6 years now.
There's nothing here that's revolutionary. It's better than the last generation.
Yes.
Every way, shape, or form.
Yep. Here's the thing. This is clearly the best iPad of all time. I actually think that there's a real argument that this is the nicest piece of Apple hardware that they have ever made.
This is where I want to get into the philosophy of things.
Yeah.
I'm going to smack down my hot take.
Whoa.
It's like a hot dog that's been sitting out in the sun.
It's like kind of shriveled.
Shriveled, little kind of curving to the left. You know what? No, I'm gonna turn it up. I'm gonna microwave my hot dog here and turn up my hot take. I think we're at the point. Everyone's like, oh, you know, we should have a touch screen, just a touch screen MacBook. How about we get rid of the MacBook Pro altogether? I think we're at the point. Now, hear me out. This is the nicest piece of hardware.
Yeah.
We just came off a video where I talked about how I am bored of tech because this here is perfect. And I think that 10% is that software. As much as people keep talking about, oh, we should have Mac OS on here and stuff like that. It is a fairly niche case for most people. I feel like most people would be happy with pro apps. So like we got like Final Cut on here, but then it's not Final Cut on here.
But it's
like,
pretty close, and you've got like basically full resolve on here almost.
But like again, what are most people doing? They're emailing, they're going on Twitter, they're watching YouTube. Most of the experience can be done on just about anything.
Like the 10th gen iPad, which costs the same as this keyboard basically.
Yeah. But if you're a pro user, you have the most powerful CPU that Apple currently makes in this device here. So what is missing here that would replace this? A more pro software side, which they could do if they want to, but they're not going to because they still have to sell some of these. Even if this had like 2 ports on it, maybe a MagSafe. Imagine if the dock here had MagSafe on it instead of USB-C. They're not gonna do that as long as they have a laptop that they're trying to sell. The MacBook is the Neanderthal, and the iPad is the monkey. This is according to Apple, by the way. This is not my opinion. This is I talked to Craig and Tim. Craig was sitting there with his shirt unbuttoned down to here. They told me this is how they see people. Big monkeys use iPad, but big brain person use Vision Pro in the future. So where does this fit in?
So you're trying to tell me that Apple are going to hold back the iPad so that people will buy iPads and Vision Pros instead of Macs? Do they care? I feel like you're buying Apple products.
What I'm saying is all the waters are so muddied.
Because there's too many hot dogs in the water? What?
There are a lot of hot dogs in this water.
Wait,
no, just hear me out for the second.
I'm hearing you out.
When you look at like what is a better hardware? It's lighter, it's faster.
Yeah.
Objectively
Screen's better, keyboard's better,
like
pencil's better.
Yes, this is expensive. This is objectively a better form factor. I wish the hinge was a little bit more for like drawing, like
farther back.
Yeah, like you could go back a little bit, but like, you know, balance wise, it's very nice. If this was running Mac OS, more realistically a hybrid of Mac OS,
just iPad that's not bad.
Yeah, I think that would be a better solution for most people. This is an M1 Max in here. Very powerful, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think most people need that. You're not gonna get an M4 Pro in here quite yet.
Of course.
People are like, well, I need the power, blah, 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 blah. Like, if you need the power that's in this, go for a mini, go for a studio, bring it back to a desktop system.
So, okay, I'm trying to understand what your solution here is. You think that the iPad should no longer be held back by artificial restraints on its software.
Yep.
That it
And
needs
take over the mobile computing line completely for
Sure.
Apple.
So basically merging the iPad and the Mac in some sort of way.
Yeah.
I'm actually on board with that. That makes sense, right? But then as part of this, you think that with the iPad and the Mac books coexisting, you almost kind of need to squish that lineup down because you don't want to have that many iPads, that many Macs.
The Air should be gone.
Okay.
Your 13 is like the base Pro. And if you want to keep the MacBook around, keep it as a 16-inch.
Oh, so you're saying like you're straight getting rid of like half the iPad and half the Mac lineup.
You're lucky I'm not getting rid of the MacBook at all, like completely.
The problem is that it is just so expensive, right?
What you're paying for is convenience. Can you do this with the MacBook Air?
No, but honestly, even the 11-inch iPad's too big. The only iPad that I actually want to use in my hands is a mini.
This weighs less than the MacBook Air.
I don't want to hold any of these heavy things in my hand, Matt.
They're not heavy. You should be working out more if that's heavy.
Still too big. It's too big for one hand.
You're right. I would love an 8-inch one.
Earlier you said that the MacBook was perfect. Now you're arguing that this perfect MacBook, which is boring because you don't like it anymore, should be thrown to the wolves, and everyone should switch to iPads, which also coincidentally have to be completely different and better.
No, you're putting things in my mouth again.
Not the hot dog again.
I don't even think this needs a major overhaul. I think iPad OS is pretty good. I think it needs desktop finder
and desktop apps. Why can't I just run a desktop app? Sure, it might not be perfect. Sure, it might not support the touchscreen. I don't care. But let me run that kind of stuff on here without limitations. And then you know what? I'm complete agreement with you. If they just gave me full Mac apps on this iPad, I would actually be pretty happy. Like I could totally see myself living with this as a daily driver.
I'm not telling anyone to go buy this. Like,
you're not? What are you telling people to do?
No, this is what I'm saying should happen.
Okay, what should happen?
Apple, get rid of this dinosaur, okay?
Okay.
This right here should be in a museum. This here is the future of the laptopery.
Your argument here is that they need to stop artificially protecting the Mac by nerfing the iPad.
Yes.
So if they release the Mac to live its best, happy life,
let's old
go
yeller
live in the pasture, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that you were taking some crazy pills.
No.
But I'm actually like mildly on board. Bottom line is this, in my opinion, the iPad, for as absurdly expensive as it is an incredibly nice piece of hardware. It is just so nice, so well optimized. So many of the little things that we used to have problems with have been fixed. The problem with it remains to be the exact same problem that's had since the beginning, which is iPadOS has way too much training wheels action. And if the day that they announce at a WWDC that they're going to significantly open up what you can do with the iPad, when they take this step forward in software that they eventually need to, that'll be the day I'm like, you know what? Go consider buying a new iPad. But right now, no one should buy this. Like, I cannot think of a single person who should buy the Pro. Okay, sorry. I'll take it back. There's one type of person who should do it. People who money has no sort of meaning to. Just get the iPad Air. It is almost the same thing and hundreds of dollars cheaper. No one is editing your freaking Hollywood motion picture on an iPad. Like, just that's not happening, right? Until we see a major evolution of this software, that's not going to happen, right? Like, we did the whole main channel video talking about it.
I don't watch the main channel.
Okay, well, the TLDR on that, if you didn't watch it, is that the Mac has gotten so good now that it kind of took some of the wind out of the sails of the iPad.
I agree with you. These are really good. They're great. But like a crab who can't molt its shell anymore, this is now held back.
It does need an evolution. I do agree.
I think if this had 2 ports and MagSafe. And I'm not saying that this is like defending the price. It's
a lot of money.
I value the feel of something more than anything else. So when I say this has a good hand feel, a good wrist feel, that makes me want to use it. This here, the versatility that I would get from this, for a daily device like that, I personally kind of like some of the training wheels that are on it. Now, this is one of those things that, like, I'm not a developer. Maybe they can't turn it on the same way. Like they can't do Rosetta the same way in iPadOS.
What do you think? You can run iPad apps on Mac.
Right.
Why can't you flip it around? Like I just feel like if you have like a keyboard and a trackpad and the whole thing, let me do that.
Yeah.
You know, the more we talk about this, the more I'm kind of convinced that that would actually be what would make this great. Well, you know what? Subscribe to the This Is channel and ring-a-ling that ding-a-ling button because, you know, in a couple weeks, Matt's best friend Timmy Cook's gonna walk out on stage and go, all right, sorry y'all, Matt was right. We're gonna put macOS on the iPad, so hooray. Well, I don't know. They'll announce everything's $500 more expensive. Regardless, subscribe to the channel and you'll be the first to know about whatever those silly kids over at Apple Inc. are all about next time.
Tim's not my best friend, Craig is. Slow down.